From May 20th to the 31st, Star Citizen is entirely free to play, and will host a major in-game event to show off capital ships, let you try out ships for free, and enjoy an in-game expo of sorts. But these free-to-play weeks happen throughout the whole year, and any one of these periods is the best chance for players to see what this game is really about. With Invictus Week being possibly the biggest event of the year, and the recent 3.17 update making the game more enjoyable for many players, this might be the best time to play the game yet. So let's talk about free fly events and some of the best things to do during Invictus Week. Don't forget to enter my ship giveaway ending at the end of the event, and keep an eye out for that secret code throughout this video. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. So most of us know that the first thing you're going to come across when you search for Star Citizen on the internet is the long development time. It's been in some form of development for almost 10 years now, and it's still receiving things like loot and other basic mechanics. There's a whole story behind that 10 years that I have yet to explain on this channel, but for a brief rundown you can check out the summarized version in the end screen after this video. But anyways, these criticisms of the development time of this game, or any game really, are to point out the troubled, or in some cases stalled development of the game. Let's get one thing straight. Star Citizen's development has been an abusive roller coaster, with the roller being laid right before the coaster. We are met with all kinds of positive or negative surprises, feature delays, and bumps in the road. We get a pretty good view into how frustrating game development can be, but the problems that led to 10 years of development are not the same problems that we deal with now. As the project and company behind it have grown and changed, the development and struggles attached have done the same. 3 years ago, you could see mention of an upcoming feature in a weekly show, and you wouldn't know if it was coming in 1 quarter or 8. 3 years ago, the UI team was still building the system that would replace the dead Flash format to allow UI to be built on the fly. 3 years ago, you couldn't even buy a ship in the game. Players are now joining the game to play, rather than to see what's going on. From new members joining my own org, to big YouTube channels playing the game more regularly, it's become apparent to many that the game is seeing regular development in the right direction now. The studio understands this, and they've made it kind of an expectation that anybody can play Star Citizen completely free for at least an entire month spread throughout the year. This allows anybody to jump in and see that many of the struggles Star Citizen has been known for are disappearing left and right, as the long-term engine development is starting to bear some fruits. The added benefit of doing this several times a year is it gives you the chance to experience new additions as they come. With every update making changes every quarter, you can start to understand how the development is progressing, and if it's a timeline you can get behind, all before spending any money. But these free fly periods also tend to accompany events, and of course, sales. So let's talk about what you can expect at Invictus Week. Another top search result you'll find when you go looking for Star Citizen on the internet are criticisms of the funding model. In order to fund the development of the game and pay the employees, ships are sold for real money. The vast majority of these ships are already available to be flown and used in-game, either for this real money or for in-game credits that actually aren't that difficult to come by. Seriously, people just hand this stuff out. But that's besides the point. One of the major benefits of these events is you get to try out a ton of ships for free. During Invictus Week, it's all military themed, so for any who really want to spend the money or are maybe just looking to get a feel for all the ships to work towards, this is a good chance for the more combat-focused pilots. See, Invictus Week is a centuries-old recruiting event for the UEE Navy and Star Citizen. It marks a new year for all the recruits coming into the military and creates the excuse for huge events across the star systems with parades, high-flying aerial shows, and the chance to see some of the most impressive military ships available. This includes the F-8 Lightning, which is not available to players in-game at this point. Not that we don't find ways. And the Javelin Destroyer, also not available to players, yet. The Javelin is the largest player-ownable ship in the game, and during this event, players are able to fly alongside or tour the halls inside. Of course, as I hinted before, this is also a sales event, and make no mistake, as I explained in detail in my video from earlier this year, which I'll link down below, one of the biggest reasons for these events are the ship sales that continue funding the game. Invictus Week continues to be one of the best funding events of the year, and helps to keep the lights running for likely months at a time. If you are interested in helping fund the game, or just want a ship for you and your friends, feel free to take part. But if you just want to play and explore, play for free and enjoy the game until a later date. You can always come back during the next event. Once you actually do get into the game during this week, you'll have plenty of things to check out. But here are some that might be worth focusing on due to recent additions to the game and this particular week of activities. First, one of my favorite things to do is find a group of friends around the expo hall at the show and see if you can group up with them. Nobody plays an MMO the same way, and if you can find the right group, this can be a great way to start learning the game from willing players. You can try chatting just using the voice over IP system, or you can reach out in global chat to see if anybody is willing to take a newcomer in. You can also join a multitude of different Discord servers, which you'll find in YouTube video descriptions across the globe. You'll be surprised by how friendly most of the community can be. But now that you have some friends, or maybe you want to go solo, one of the best things you can do if you're more combat focused is dogfighting. Whether you are bounty hunting NPCs and players alike, wiping out data skimming probes, or seeking out targets in planet atmospheres, you'll be getting a fairly different experience with many fights, even if that means your target just crashes into the ground. Dogfighting is one of the more exhilarating parts of the game, and while you should get the hang of it in a starter ship, Invictus Week leaves you free to take incredibly powerful ships out to swat down the beginner AI ships. It can be fun on your own or crewing somebody else's turrets. If you don't want to jump straight into ship combat, the FPS AI have recently gotten a bit better at aiming and can pose a threat to you now. This is more risky though, as you'll lose that inventory, armor, and all those weapons if you die. The upside is that you'll be able to find plenty of loot in these bunkers, which is newly added to the game, and can now be sold for even more money on top of what you're getting paid to do the mission for. Some of this loot are even limited items, so they may be venturing underground for. Speaking of which, if you don't want to go into a bunker or a cave to take out pirates, you can also find the occasional space yacht occupied by pirates looking to wipe out security and take data. You can clear out the ships on patrol, board the yacht, and fight alongside security to stop the pirates. If combat isn't really your thing, you can still find plenty of loot as an explorer. The same improvements to combat also offer incentives to explore various caves and shipwrecks around the game. These shipwrecks are also a new addition, added as a platformer-like puzzle sequence in which you can find some valuable items or die by trip mines. You can even easily find some of these wrecks by taking missions which require you to obtain dangerous cargo from the wrecks. Another new addition of the latest update is the first river in the game. While not anything that can compare to current top games or even top games from 5 years ago, it is an alpha implementation of a fairly novel feature in space sims. As the only one, it acts as a unique location that players have used as a community meeting point ever since its addition last month. Before leaving the Expo Center in Orison to do all of these things, it may actually be worth taking some time to explore. As the newest city in the game, there are plenty of interesting areas to see. Many of these areas are reserved for future gameplay, but you can still visit them as you enjoy the event. You can even take to the skies and fly around the various cloud cities. Many are able to be landed on for a relaxing meetup. But once you're back out running missions, I suggest pushing one specific focus really hard to see how much reputation you can build up. A relatively new addition to the game that is always being tweaked, the reputation system allows you to build a relationship with individuals, firms, and government entities as you work for them or against them. Several things can be affected by this rep, such as payment amount, willingness to give a mission, and hostility. Play around with it a bit and see if you can reach a max level. And finally, mining gadgets have recently been added to the game to add yet another tool to the arsenal of the most developed career path in the game. While you will need to make some money to rent a prospector, you can still use mining gadgets with the ship. Other components can't be equipped to rented vehicles, So this is a nice way for those who just started out to still get an extra boost in the gameplay. Even better though, my organization would be happy to take you out mining as we do every week, so you can get the full experience without having to shell out all the credits. These free fly weeks are undoubtedly the best time to play the game for anybody who is considering it in the long term. While the added number of players can stress performance, this is still a good chance to get your hands on the game and see what it's about. It is nowhere near finished, it has many bugs and glitches, and it doesn't run well on many builds. But there are definitely plenty of things to do throughout your free week in the verse, and many more things to do after. If you'd like more guides, tutorials, and updates on the game to see how many more things are being added every quarter, you can subscribe here. And if you want more casual content like discussions, gameplay, and more, check out my second channel, Space Tomato 2. And if you missed it, make sure to go back through the video and find the code that will give you more entries into my Invictus Week giveaway. My community members have sponsored a Polaris Corvette, a Scorpius Heavy Fighter, Nova Tank, and a Gladius Light Fighter. It ends after the free week, so make sure to check out all my videos from April 16th to now to find more codes. I hope you enjoy your free week if you decide to try. I hope you learned something in this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.